This is not a drill. U.S. intel confirms Israel is preparing to strike Iran's nuclear sites. We're witnessing a potentially history-altering moment. Share this with everyone. This could be it. The United States has obtained credible intelligence that Israel is actively preparing for a military strike against Iran's nuclear facilities. The intelligence suggests that these plans are already in motion. At the same time, the U.S. has been quietly working on a diplomatic resolution with Tehran. If Israel proceeds, this would represent a dramatic fracture in the U.S.-Israel relations. And worse, it could plunge the Middle East and possibly the world into a full-scale war. Such a strike on Iran's nuclear infrastructure wouldn't just be a tactical operation. It would be a spark inside the powder keg. Iran has warned for years that any attack on its nuclear program would trigger immediate retaliation, not just against Israel, but potentially against the U.S. assets across the region. And worst of all, this could open the door for the first true nuclear confrontation of the 21st century. If Israel launches, Iran will not back down, and the world may soon witness a chain reaction where diplomacy dies and cities burn. This isn't just another foreign policy crisis. This is the kind of flashpoint that ends in world war.
Of the morning, hearing that Donald Trump is getting ready to install. Imagine waking up in the middle of the morning, hearing that Donald Trump is getting ready to install a golden dome system and pretty much change our whole way of getting uranium just so we can build nuclear weapons and keep up on tabs with Russia and China. As Russia is trying to protect their shadow fleet over in the Baltic Sea, and NATO is saying that they're going to up their ante on protecting the Baltic Sea, which they've both been warning of war at. And they're about to expand their war into Ukraine in 3 different regions. And of course, China and the Philippines just crashed vessels yesterday into each other and sprayed each other down. And it's just getting wild. India just got blamed for doing an attack on a Pakistan bus. I don't remember if it was a school bus or one of those public buses, but yeah, we got one of those too. North Korea's ship just sinked out of nowhere. South Korea reported that North Korea fired ballistic missiles right after that. And now Russia's giving North Korea air-to-air missiles as they're announced to have air-to-air nuclear missiles now, which hasn't happened since the Cold War. Oh, also this uranium thing hasn't happened since the Cold War. And Germany's getting ready to deploy troops to Lithuania, which also hasn't happened since World War II. Yeah, I think I'm going back to bed. I'll talk to y'all.
All right, shalom, shalom. First off, give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh by Hashem, Yahushai by Hashem, Rakar giving double honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS, salutes and honors to the elect, all the brothers across the 4 corners who are enduring in truth and sincerity, all the men and the women who follow. This is the brother Kratazah from the GMS Nebraska camp, coming back at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. This one being entitled to World War III Update. All right. So, we heard what the first guy had to say.
Breaking news
about, Israel preparing to strike Iran. And, well, first off, let's get the scripture, right? Jeremiah chapter 50 and 45, it says, therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord Yahweh, that he hath taken against Babylon, all right, Babylon being America, and for his purposes, that he had purposed against the land of the Chaldeans, right? So we know that Babylon here in America has sinned against the Lord, has sins have reached, the scripture said that her sins have reached unto heavens, right? So for these are part of the Lord's purposes that he have taken against America, Babylon, right? It says, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he should make their habitation desolate with them. That is the least of the flock is speaking about the land of Israel and the people who dwell therein. All right, I'm not going to, you know who I'm talking about. The people who he said is going to start shooting on Iran, which that's all through the spirit. So yeah, let's grab that real quick. Right, so this is Ezekiel 38:1. It says, "And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog in the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against them." Now, this is speaking about the land of Russia. So let's see if we can get a. You see, that's current day Russia. Let's get a map. Right, so when you look at the map, you can see the Caspian Sea right here, the Black Sea right here, and then when you go over here, you see the Caspian Sea and the Black Sea, Magog, right? So this is how we can determine that the land of Magog, Gog and Magog is Russia. Also, the through the spirit, the Apostle Tahar, um, this word chief prince, he was able to look at it, right? The chief prince, Rosh, which is head, and Shar, hold up, and Shar, let's see, it says Nasai, it should be Shar, because princess, let me see, Nasi, to the left. The Hebrew word for prince is Shar. So Rosh is head. That should have head, right? Rosh is head. Because in Genesis 1:1, it says in the headings. Let's go to that real quick. In the beginning, right? I should say in the headings to begin. Rosh, yeah. See, Rosh. It's the same. Rosh, right? The headings. All right. So then you see if we get this word prince. We can get back to it. Just want to. All right. Shara. This is Shara. But Sha'ar. So you can see that Rashar, Rashar, the chief prince, right? So let's go back to Ezekiel 38. So we proved that this is speaking about Russia, right? It says, and say, thus saith the Lord power, behold, I am against thee, O God, and the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, right? So the Lord is saying that he is going to turn them back to the old ways, to that strong Russia, all right? Because after the Soviet Union broke up, Russia was more of a neutered Russia, if you will. All right, they didn't exhibit those same Cold War fearful tactics. They didn't have that same presence as they did during the Cold War, right? Where everyone was building up their nuclear armaments, and it was heavy conflict. Where World War III could have popped off at any moment, right? You had since the early '90s till I'll say to when Putin first came into office, they were a different kind of country. So let's see, when did Putin come into office? Okay, so he became president. Let me see. Um, yeah. So when did I think the Cold War ended in like 90, about 91, 89. Okay, Cold War ended in 89, and then you have Vladimir Putin come into power in about 2000, and then he's been reelected several times in 2004, 2012. This is about the time to around 2012. That's when things started getting serious. All right, and then of course in 2018 and 2024, it's just been ratcheting up. I believe there was a time period that he wasn't president in here, but he was reelected because the people knew they understand what is needed, and they needed this strong leader. All right, so him being that strong leader, they knew the people that is through the spirit that Russia had to have a strong front, especially with you know NATO encompassing them. So when you look at all these NATO bases, they're all around Russia. Russia is right here, and they have all these bases right on their doorstep. So you can't have a weak leader with Charlie, with the enemy circumventing you. So you have to have someone who's strong, and Putin is that strong leader. All right. So they're going back to that strong mentality. And just the statements that Vladimir Putin makes, he ain't taking no BS. He's gonna tell you what it is, how it is, and what he's gonna do, and what you need to do to prevent him doing what he's gonna do if you don't like what you're doing. Right? He says, I will bring thee forth, and all thy army and horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with sorts of armor, even a great company with buckler and shields, all of them handling swords. It says Persia, which Persia is Iran. All right. Let's all right, you see the Persian Empire is right here where Iran is. Again, you see the Caspian Sea, and you see the Persian Gulf right beneath it. Hey, Pan-Iranism, Persia, right? Caspian Sea, Persian Gulf, Persia. It's there every time. Now let's go to Iran. Iran. That's where it is. The Persian Gulf, the Caspian Sea, Iran. And when you look up Iran, they'll tell you that they're formerly Persia. Iran, officially the Islamic Republic of Iran, also known as Persia, right? So Persia, Ethiopia, Libya, with them, all of them with shield and helmet, Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarma in the north quarters, and all his bands, and to many people with thee, be thou prepared, and prepare thyself, and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So what it's saying is that Gog and Magog is to be a protection for Persia, for Libya, and uh, Ethiopia, all right? And they are to be a guard unto them. Because now you have the people who are over here wanting to blow up their nuclear sites over here. And uh, it's not a secret that Iran and Russia are allies. So let's prove that real quick. All right, Russia sends missiles to Iran. Yes, there have been reports and confirmations of Iran supplying Russia with ballistic missiles, as well as other military equipment, including drones and missiles. According to Reuters and other news sources, this cooperation has has been facilitated by ongoing conflict in Ukraine. We're not talking about that because um, what was it called? Uh, So these are talking about like short range missiles. Russia sent long range missiles to Iran. The S-300, that's what it was. In 2016, Russia completed the delivery of the S-300 air defense missile systems to Iran, and a deal signed in 2007. This S-300 system can counter multiple aircraft at a range of 195 kilometers and ballistic missiles at a range of up to 50 kilometers. So this is how they've been a guard to them. They sent them this S-300 system, which allows them to defend their country, right? At 200 kilometers and 50 kilometers. So this is all prophecy. This is all, the least of the flock is drawing them out. It's going to get America, it's going to drag America into this. All right. Now, that's just one part of it, because when you go back into with your boy Javante, I definitely advise brothers to follow him on TikTok. Javante, the journalist, he has a lot of good news updates, and he's pretty consistent with it. He had updates for everybody, for Russia, for China, for Pakistan and India, uh, Germany. All you can really say is, Matthew 24:6, it says, "You should hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." And we're slowly creeping closer and closer and closer, right, to this third war's war. Hey, the scripture says, Revelation 11:14, the second woe was past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. And the Second World War ended, back in y'all bear with me real quick. 1 second. That's much better. Slovakia. The Second World War ended, back in 1945, and I know it says that the Third World cometh quickly, and technically it's been more space of time between the Second World War and the Third World War compared to the First World War and the Second World War. But really, the Third World War started at the time of the Cold War, right? Because that's when all of these missiles were built up. So just because it's not a hot war in the same sense as the Second World War was, all right, this has been a more drawn out conflict because it's going to end in nuclear fire, right? So nobody nobody wants to just hit the button and then just end everything. All right, when this conflict ends, all right, America is no longer going to be on the map. 5,000 square feet, 300 million people, you know, and then you got to add to that the various different places around the world from where Babylon shoots their missiles. This is going to be a destruction to end all destruction. This is going to be the catalyst to bring in to usher in the kingdom of Yahweh Shemel Shai. So that's why it's not a light thing. That's why you can't just spring into the war. That's why, it took 45 years of Cold War to build up the armaments. And another 30 years, damn near, of, 35 years, 36 years since the Cold War ended, of everybody uh, playing buddy buddy. America getting all the ducks in a row. Israel building themselves up. All right, this is a matter of fact. Let's get this is Habakkuk chapter 2, in verse 1. It says, "I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and I will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord's fuck it. The Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come and will not tarry." Right. So the vision is for an appointed time. The vision of the prophecy, World War III, is slated that to take place at an appointed time. These missiles are slated to take place and to hit at an appointed time. All right. All of these dominoes have to be lined up for the dominoes to start falling. And ever since, like I said, the Cold War, these dominoes are coming into place. All right, this is a very intricate web that the Most High Yahweh Shemel Shai has weaved. But guess what? All the dominoes are damn near in place. We're just waiting on the push. And once those dominoes are pushed, hell, the dominoes could already be pushed. But it's fucking 70 years of dominoes. So as they tumble down, we're just waiting on, these newly set up dominoes who have been put up to fall down. Because the Cold War is over. NATO has involved Ukraine into their business, and Russia's not having it. You think Russia's gonna back down now? No, there ain't no ceasefire. Ain't no coming to an agreement. Russia's already making big moves amongst all these other places, and it's going to culminate in the Valier decision. So when I thought I had let me see, let me get another one. Could have sworn I had this picture up already, but This is the valley of decision. All right. So let's jump into the prophecy. Joel chapter 3, and I'll start at verse 9. It says, "Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, and let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say that I am strong." And that's happening all over the world right now, man. Everybody's preparing for war. Everybody is waking up. Hey, you got Burkina Faso. What did it say? This is from May 23rd, 2025. The young Putin ally winning hearts across Africa. Who is Abraham Traore? You know, he's he's 34. At 34, Abraham Traore, I don't know how you pronounce his name, seized global attention by toppling Burkina Faso junta, the second coup in a year, vowing to reclaim sovereignty and reject colonial influence. Days later, he was sworn in as president, becoming Africa's youngest leader. His rise owes as much to military action as to a viral online presence with AI tributes and fiery speeches casting him as Pan-African icon, right? And he stood up to France. He stood up to America. Yeah, this guy right here, he ain't going for that BS. And guess what? He's aligned with Putin. He's aligned with Russia. The same way America gets involved with these conflicts and they put their puppets up. Hey, Russia could be doing the same thing. And just to, matter of fact, just to show you, let me see. How can I put this? Let me see. I had at one point in time I had a list. There's a list of all the different wars and conflicts that happened during the Cold War that each side was backed by either Russia or America or NATO. Let's see. The Cold War, a period of geopolitical tension, excuse me, between the United States and the Soviet Union, was characterized by indirect conflict and proxy wars. There we go. The Korean War, Vietnam War, the Soviet-Afghan War, the Angolan Civil War, the Congo Crisis, the Cambodian Civil War. All of these was basically wars that were fought between the U.S. and Russia via the host country, because you had the Soviet Union on one side and America on the other side. You know, this and nobody talks about these little events. People talk about the Korean War and Vietnam, but who really talks about the Soviet Afghan War, the Angola civil war, which took place for fucking 27 years. So the Soviet Union and Cuba supported the People's Movement for the Liberation of Angola, while the United States and South Africa supported the National Union for the Total Independence of Angola. That's a war. This is a war that was funded by America and funded by the Soviet Union. Okay? See, this Third World War been going on. It's been hot. It just hasn't been direct. You haven't seen missiles shot from Russia to America. But that's coming. That's coming here pretty soon. All right? So I think that's everything I wanted to get. We'll finish reading a little bit more on this. Yeah. Let the weak say that I am strong. Assemble yourselves in verse 11. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be awakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit and judge all the heathen round about. Right? Going back to what I was saying, this is that land right here, the valley of Jehoshaphat. I believe it's in the previous chapter. Let me see. Here we go. Joel 2:20 it says, "But I will remove from off you the northern army, and will drive them into the land barren and desolate." Which this is that land that's barren and desolate. Let's see if we can. This is that land barren and desolate. All right, it's a big fucking desert, the Arabian Desert. All right, a land barren and desolate. It says, with his face towards the east sea, and his hinder part toward the utmost sea, and his stink shall come up, and his ill favor shall come up, because he have done great things. Right? So that's that valley of Jehoshaphat. With the east sea. All right, we'll bring this up. The east sea being the Persian Gulf, and the utmost sea, all right, being the Red Sea. And this is that desolate land that all of this is going to take place. And you can see Iran's right here, Israel's right here, the valley is right here, and it's going down. All right, and it's not too far off. So, Lord's Lord, this is edifying. And, we give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, by Hashem, Rakar giving double honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS. Salutes and honors to the elect, all the brothers across the four corners who are enduring in truth and sincerity, all the men and the women who follow. Shalom.